What advice would you give couples that are looking to find that joy again in their marriage? You know, you've kind of been through the tough times, or you're coming out of the tough time, but you know, I know a lot of times, like say if Gerald and I argue, or we have a fight or whatever the case may be, or a blow up, and we've decided to move on, it's the moment. It takes a minute because, I mean, if anybody's like me, it takes a minute because give me time. Okay, yes, I said I was over it, but okay, my mind and my facial expressions are not. But what advice would you give the couple looking to get over that hump, to be happy again, or to find the joy in their relationship?
Can I add just a little piece to that?
Sure.
And not only like the fights, but like when you're also stuck in the apathetic middle, just like I'm just going through life, just
here so I don't get fined.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, those are realities though. You will be there. For me, and I think I'm so fortunate to say this, because there have been times when I didn't or couldn't say it. I like Danny. There were times I didn't like Danny. But I have a good time when I'm with him. But there was a time I had a better time when I was with my girls, the sisters hanging out. But I still wanted to go home to my husband. I think you just gotta find what you originally saw and felt in that person. I tell people this all the time. When I met Danny, this guy walks up to me, and as we talk and we go our separate ways. And then as I see him on campus and stuff, and we become friends, the one thing that amazed me about him, he would pull out his wallet and show me pictures of his mom and dad. He had pictures of his mom and dad in his wallet, like Olam photography pictures. That's old school, right? Pictures of his mom and dad, pictures of his brother, his wife and their kids, his nieces that were born at the time, his nephews. I mean, and I just remember thinking, he walks around here like he is some super cool dude, but he's so grounded from a family perspective. And I thought, what a good guy. I liked that about him. And I wasn't even trying to be his girlfriend. I was just his friend. So I always just fall back on the sense that I like him. He doesn't have an easy personality. I love to laugh. He used to tell me I was silly or I was crazy for laughing all the time, but I still liked him. It was things about him that I liked being around. So it's just finding those things that, okay, I like this. Now, don't get me wrong, it pisses me off, I get upset. You know, we have those moments. But at the end of the day, I do like him as a person. I do know what his heart is. Now, there were times I was a little uncertain, but again, you know, that was when our platform was shattered. But I like him as a person, and you got to find ways to just find, and go have a date night, have this night. You can do that. You can do that. But I don't know if that's going to change the perspective if you don't change your mindset.
So you're saying to find the joy, you need to go back, rely on those moments where you realize you like.
Find those moments when you realize that this person is somebody that I saw me spending the rest of my life with, if it worked out. Remember, because if it didn't work out, I'd just get a divorce. Right?
You know, looking back through those years and trying to grow, and as you grow, one of the things, along with looking at yourself in the mirror and dealing with this individual and learning how to keep life simple, and then you learn where the joy comes from. It's always been right there with you. Mm-hmm. You know, we make life hard because we, you know, egos and,
right,
you know, people get in the way for its opinions and stuff, and that you let into the household. Mm-hmm. You know, and instead of just dealing with, this is it right here.
This is all
me
that
and you
right here.
And once you learn how to come in and handle that and deal with that and keep life simple, it's
And
you enjoy the ride more.
What works for the Davis family may not work for the Carpenter family. So
Right.
I can see what's going on in your household. Think, oh, I'm gonna go home and that's not always gonna work. So, there are times I'd be like, well, we should do this more because this is what they do, but that's not the answer for us.
Right.
We gotta find what works for us. And also too, there were times when we really didn't like each other. And, every time we've been at a crossroads and some really difficult times in our life, we weren't actively growing spiritually. We weren't. And we used to have those conversations, remember?
Yeah.
We used to say, you know what?
Yes.
We need to find, because, our church splinter, we got to find a church. Then that church splinter, we got to find a church. But, for a couple of wild periods of time, we went on our own and just, we'll just figure it out. But, having that spiritual foundation truly does make a difference. And you got to have people in your life who respect and understand who you are. And it just comes together like that. What we did to find each other may not work for what the other people need to do, but you got to dig deep. You got to figure it out. And if you can look at somebody and see this person is not willing to grow, because see, to me, growth is really important. And another thing my pastor told me one time, and I will never forget, I love this word, and it's just been something that I've held on to for forever. Be intentional in your efforts to be the best person you can be, to show love to the person in the way they want to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
Be intentional in what you do. Because what I think I'm doing is, I'm cooking every Sunday, or I'm doing this. He don't need me to cook. He can cook himself. Taking the time to find out, what do you need me to do to make you feel loved? And that's a deep conversation.
Yeah, I think that's part of when I think about the ways that me and Danielle missed each other, I don't think a lot of time it wasn't a lack of effort. It was, I'm trying to love you in my way.
And what matters to you. And it doesn't, how you want to be loved is not the way how she wants to be loved.
Yeah.
And my husband, in his way of being loved, sometimes he just wants to be left alone. I'm so completely opposite of that. So, like, you really got to figure it out. What do you need me to do to make you feel like you matter more than anything? Because I'm telling this man he matters to me. But my display is different.
One of my biggest lessons that I learned was the book. I don't really care for this book, but the 5 Love Languages. This was, I think, year 6 or 7 of our marriage, and that was probably the time I was like, I don't like him. Like, this is not gonna work. And I actually came to Georgia with Aaliyah. She was a baby still in Savannah, and I was like, I should wonder if I should be looking at apartments over here, because I don't know if this is gonna work. But we were tasked at one point, I don't know if it was to the church or we had gone to counseling or something, to read the book, and I hated it. I'm sorry, whoever wrote that book. I don't like the way it's written. I didn't care for it. And I was just like, this is whatever. I also don't like to be preached at. So that's another thing about me. I just don't care for it. Like, if you're going to teach me something, teach me, but don't preach at me. It's a thing. So I didn't care for the book. But then, I don't know what happened. I guess God, I don't know. I was like, because we were going through it, I was like, let me read this book. And I was like, I wasn't paying attention, because the first time I read it, I was like, because I like active service. He ain't cleaning the kitchen. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. But never did it dawn on me to say, am I doing acts of service, or how he needs to be loved? Because he likes gifts.
Yeah.
He likes affection, or touch, or whatever the case may be. I was never giving him that because, I'm so focused on what he's not giving me.
Right.
And that really opened my perspective of, the real give and take. So,
there are times when you're in a marriage and people tell you, just pray about it. And people, some people dismiss it. Some people think that's a cop out. But I take it to another level, because it's not really just praying about my marriage. It's praying about what I need to do in my marriage. I'm not gonna pray because it's about what
Lord,
my
help
prayer
this
is.
man be a better man.
Right.
To
I'm
me.
not gonna pray for him. Lord, help him be a better man. Help me to be a better person, because maybe what am I expecting here?
Right.
Give me insight to see what I can do to change what we're going through right now. And that's that level of that word being intentional. And also, when I first started going to this church, one of the first sermons my pastor preached was that love was an action word. It's not based on a feeling.
But
But let me finish this. Love is not a feeling. Love is an action word. I love you, but what do my actions reflect?
Right.
and something we have to understand too is that we all grow at certain levels
And speeds.
and
Different
speeds at different times, because whatever's going on with your life that might be occupying your mind for your job or whatever, and you thinking that maybe I'm not getting something or whatever in this relationship, but and then it could be just spiritually or whatever growth, and till you come to that balance, and then where you can let's get back on this road again.
Right.
But we all grow at different levels, and hopefully, the longer you're in it, you get on it, then you can
level
see
off.
what's going on and say, okay, I know what I'm dealing with now. Now we
Right.
can ride this out together, and I don't have to worry about her going a different direction, you going a different direction. But
I didn't like 5 love languages too. Not that I didn't like it, I liked it. I just have a lot of love languages. I mean,
it's more
it
than
was hard. I
5.
couldn't put it. I mean, I couldn't pin anything I could say that this is my love language.
Yeah.
I have all 5 of them. And I know that's not fair to him, but it is. He picked me, and I got 5 love languages. I have 5 languages.